I was rewatching Hunter x Hunter for the 80th time, and I'm going to rate all the Nin users in Hunter x Hunter, the 2011 anime. Fuck the manga today. We were just going over the 2011 one because I just found this on Google, not gonna lie. You get to stare at my hairy legs because I have not showered in forever, in my Shrek jersey, in my overly sweat inducing apartment. I don't know why it's so fucking hot. But you gotta watch me rank these fucking characters. Aluka slash Nanika. So like Nanika's the spirit in Aluka, and they're from. Well, I guess this is kind of manga spoilers. They're from, or maybe I don't know. They're from the new continent, quote unquote, or really like the whole world. This is spoilers. The whole world of Hunter x Hunter is surrounded by a mega continent. And it's confirmed that Aluka or Nanika, which they're like also the same person, quote unquote. Like I don't know how that exactly works, but yeah, basically, they don't actually have a nin. They have like a nin. I would say a nin like user in their body. I don't know how to say that, like a nin creature, but like not a nin beast. Anyway, sorry, I just got my belly button pierced and it hurts like a son of a bitch. Um, the fact that there's, I think I put two Franklins on here. I think I accidentally added another Franklin. That's fine. That's fine. Alika Sasanika, you make a wish, and and like the price for each wish gets like higher and higher, and she'll ask you something, and yeah, if you wish for something extreme, you're gonna get punished extreme. Like she flattens people. It's like basically a one hit kill scenario. Like she probably could have used like Nanika to defeat Meruem in the Chimera Ant arc, and so just for that alone, and for literally everything else with this character, I don't even know. It just I'm gonna put it S tier. There's just this is one of the characters that like the nin that they can wield is so powerful that they're basically like a god. And there's not really that much humans, especially in the 2011 anime like that. But yeah, like S tier is basically like these characters are basically god, like in themselves. I probably should have said there's S, A, B, C, and then hot garbage. Okay, so next we have I don't remember his name. I'm gonna be so for real. I'm not looking it up. This guy was in the Green Island arc. And basically, he is a Nin Exorcist, which is a rare ability. The Nin he uses, we've seen him use this. I guess I don't know if he's a conjurer or a emitter, but he creates a Nin beast, either conjured or emits one. And this Nin beast will eat other people's Nin to get rid of like a Nin curse. Like Karapi's Judgment Chain is a Nin curse. And he used it against Ginthru. Was it Little Flower and the Bomber? I think it's the Bomber. He used it against the Bomber to get rid of it, and that saved his life. He's also the person that got rid of Karapi's curse against Crollo, which I'm kind of thinking that he's not doing well because that's like Nin curses go by like hate and want and will and desire. So I just know that this man is probably like immobilized, like crippled. And I don't know, like he was crippled just from Genthru's bomb. And yes, that would kill him, but the chain is just so like nasty and it like Karapika's life is staked on it. So it's just like I don't know. But to get rid of that curse is actually really impressive. As a nin user in total, I know it's like a shonen series and there's supposed to be a lot of fighting. So you wouldn't expect it. But this guy has a lot of power, and a Nin Exorcist is actually pretty rare. But he's not doing anything more special than the Chimera Ant Nin Exorcist that gets pregnant. She just has to carry it to term. But she's also a Chimera Ant. Ooh, but that kind of puts me down. I'm gonna put it right in the middle because that's the only ability we know from him. But that's such a complicated ability, and he has to do like a whole ceremony. So yeah, I think I'm gonna go for that. I think that's a good placement. Oh my god, my diamond piercing. Ow. Ow. Anyway, we have, is this base? I think this is base. Um I don't know if that's her name or not, but I know she is from the York New City arc, and she uh, is a manipulator, I believe. And her manipulation abilities is if she kisses you, or I think it's technically called like stolen kiss, like kiss stealer. Like she has to steal a kiss from somebody. I think on the lips because it's not proven otherwise. But if she steals a kiss from somebody, they become under her control completely. Um, First of all, Batty. This is, I mean, she died sadly, but this is the only power that we've seen her have. And for the only power we've seen her have, it's actually not a bad power. Like in the scope of what she knew, she did not know that like the freaking um Phantom Troop was gonna be there, and like even if she did, like I don't know. In theory, if it's just stealing a kiss from somebody, couldn't she like technically even like steal a kiss from one of the Phantom Troop members and like I don't know, at least like get them off her ass? So like in that sense, it's like it's kind of good. And it's especially really good for her profession because she's a mafia worker. And she basically goes undercover as a beautiful lady and then she just has to kiss a guy or steal a kiss. And let's be so for real, like that's a very stealthy ability and she was made for stealth, which is I'm assuming her goal. Just because she did die, I don't think that means that her Nin ability was the worst. But I think if you're thinking about Nin combat, that's probably one of the worst abilities you could have for Nin combat. Like it's just stupid. But if you're just thinking about like in general usefulness of this world, I'm gonna have to give it a full up like B under the Nin Exorcist. Because if you're just a normal day, which they've proven that like you can just live your life normally, you don't have to fight. If you're just like normal, then her ability is probably one of the best ones to have. Like she can be an assassin. Like she could probably get famous like the Zoldyck's, not nearly as good, but if she gets better, like this could be an ability that could make her a lot of money, you know. And I think I don't know if she did pass the Nin test, the Hunter test, but I think especially the new tests in the manga, there's a whole thing about it. But I think she could make a really interesting hunter. I'm not sure if she was official hunter, but I think she would have been really interesting if we could have seen her more like grow. Um, yeah. Okay. So next we're gonna go for one of the bombers. Now I know the bombers' names are Sub and Bara, which is actually really funny. Sub and Bara being like fucking like porn titles for like gay porn. So I think he's like in love with like the other bomber henchman. I'm not sure where he is on this list. He's fucking somewhere. But I think it's so fucking funny. His name is Sub and Bara. Like their names are Sub and Bara. So I want to put him high just for that. But basically, the only abilities we've seen from him, I believe, are just the bomber ability with Ginthru. And yes, he's a Nin user, but I'm just gonna have to give him C tier for that because this is the guy that got. I think yeah, this is the one that got low diffed by Killua, and Killua had just learned Nin Bud. So like Killua had just like perfected Nin for like what a year. Like he just passed the Hunter exam, so less than a year of after like less than a year, learned Nen and already like better than you, and you're old as fuck, and you're like in Great Island, and clearly you've been here for a minute. So like, yeah, C tier. I mean, he's just not. I can't. I don't. I could see him losing against Base. I think her name's Base. I could see her. I could see him losing against Base, and I feel like that's embarrassing because she's not like that. impressive as like a an opponent. So, and he focuses on combat. So it's funny to see that somebody that I don't think was focused on combat was focused on espionage could probably take him out with that ability. And that's what I'm like. And I could even see his character falling for it, which is the worst part. That's just embarrassing. So yeah, he's going in C tier. Good for him. Hmm. Now we have the lovely Taiku writer guy. I don't know. Maybe his name is Base. I don't fucking know. Um, I don't know at all, but yeah, no. This guy I feel like is like less embarrassing than C tier, and he does come back in the manga in the newest arc, which I am like mostly caught up for. He does come back, and I like him a lot better. And his ability is actually really overpowered. The fact that he just writes anything and it like becomes true, like bro would never have to like would never starve outside. Bro could just like be like fire, never die of cold. And that's kind of like amazing. And like in a battle, yes, you have to think of a haiku and the quality. His standard of the quality is what makes the powers better or worse. But man, you're in a battle with somebody and you said, I need a Glock. I mean, you get the fucking Glock. Where's the slingshot? Like, what else do I have to say about that? You know what I mean? I don't know. I think he actually has to go into A tier. I might move him down, but he's gonna have to go into A tier because that's amazing. I don't know. Just the fact that like he could just be like, "Oh, give me a gun, give me a cross. There's some demons up in this house. Like, I just think that's so fucking funny. Let's go into Bisky or Biscuit Kruger. Now, this is the ability that I feel like everybody should want and nobody talks about enough because this is literally the best ability in the whole fucking series. She summons a Nin Beast, Cookie, which is a beautiful girl with pink hair. Hi. Anyway, my pink hair's a mess. Don't look at mine. Bisky's, I mean, Cookie's way more fucking beautiful than I am. But anyway, she summons Cookie, and I mean, icon. The Cookie rubs a lotion. She's a transmuter, or I think she was a transmuter or specialist, and she summons Cookie, and transmutes a lotion that basically, when applied by Cookie in a special massage, makes it so that you get 8 hours of rest in 30 minutes. I mean, basically getting half of our lives back from not having to sleep. Like, I don't even know what to say about that. It's just like that in itself is S tier. That's like a god level ability. Like, you're basically cutting out the need for sleep. And like, if you think about it, people, I don't know, I can stay up like 12 hours in a day and like go to bed and like, like go to bed for like 8 hours or like you get like more than 12 hours in a day, so you get over half the day. Well, if you're just sleeping for 8 hours, you would only lose like maybe at most an hour of your time for sleep in one day. So you're using like at least 23 hours of a day every day. Like never feeling like fatigue for work. They're training. This is how Goten and Killua also progress really far, really fast. So, first of all, goaded for training. Second of all, goaded for just real life, saving your time. It also can cure arthritis, I believe. Yeah, it can cure arthritis. And not only that, Bisky also is has a ability which is unsure how she has it. It's basically a specialist ability. I don't even know, but it turns her from a fucking beast into a child, which nobody expects. She looks like a child, so nobody expects her to come out and whoop your ass. But she has cleared everybody by whooping their ass in like an instant. And that's the funny part of it too, because she comes out here, whoops your ass as a little girl, then she turns back and you're fucking gone. You're like a goner. And she's not even a fighting like hunter. She is a stone collector hunter. So she has no Hansu for fighting, and yet she's still like one of the best fighters on here, and she could still probably clear Killua after the Chimera Ant arc. So she has to go in S tier. Like, I mean, her powers aren't as game changing as Nanika's. Like Nanika's could change your whole life I think it could literally cure cancer. Like she saved Gon from death, so it's not as good as that. But I think the top three right now are just very fair because a haiku that can make anything happen depending on quality, somebody that makes sleeping nay obsolete and has the strength higher than we see our main characters by the end of like the original story. And I would even say that she probably is stronger than Killua, not Killua, Kurapika. Just pure strength, yes, but also just by like experience and everything, she could probably. I think she could beat Kurapika. I mean, Kurapika is smart, but she is a very good fighter. So yeah. Next we have Bloster. I am in love with Bloster. He's just so cute, and he's just like a lobster guy that shoots bullets from his lobster claws, and I think that's amazing. Now, I think yes, his ability is just worse than Franklin's, but Franklin's also like a nin, been doing nin for how many years now? Bloster just born, so give Bloster a break. Now, strength wise, Bloster is not very strong at all, but I could see him clearing everybody in our B list. But his ability is just so. It's just. He's just not a great nin user. He's better than this other person, because I mean, he actually has like a nin ability that can attack, and he's definitely probably stronger because Chimera ants are naturally stronger. But his ability lacks any nuance. Like even Baze's ability, she can like she can I mean fully manipulate somebody if she gets a kiss on them. So like I mean if she can get a kiss on you, then you're manipulated first. He's not being manipulated by anybody else. So I think she could still probably beat him in theory. I feel like I'm like hyping her up too much. I don't think her ability is like all that, but I think that in comparison, her ability has a lot more potential than just a bullet lobster. So I hope that makes sense. Who the fuck is this? I had to put my glasses on. I have no idea. Okay. Oh, okay. So we have Pell. I think his name is Pell. He is ant. He worked for Zaza. I think he was just a peon level ant, but he learned Nen, and well, I mean, he learned Nen, and he was a manipulator, and we didn't really go over his ability much, but he kind of had Shelnark on the ropes, not gonna lie, but that was because he didn't know he wasn't manipulated. But even just controlling that little ant, he kind of had Shelnark on the rocks. So I don't think the ability is necessarily groundbreaking, but I think that knowing that manipulation is just a strong category, if you get hit, you're gone. Especially when we come up to Illumi later, I think he's gonna have to at least go into B tier above base. I don't think he's necessarily a great ability, but I think any manipulation ability that's not the dog one or the B one is gonna be up higher because I mean he has a strong Chimera ant he's controlling. Next we have Bolonov, I can't say his name. Bolonevil. Anyway, he's the mummy from the fan troop, and his abilities are actually really cool. He is a conjurer. He conjures battle armor using the holes in his body to create sound, and he also conjures the planet Jupiter. This is actually really cool. I was watching a video the other day. I'll leave a link down in the description for the video. But that is pretty cool that he can create a whole planet Jupiter, and it's like one of the strongest attacks I think we really seen. They like in the show, especially because you can't really dodge it. It's just the whole Jupiter coming. Now in the manga, he does say that he would lose against Hisoka. Maybe it's just because they're on their ship and he doesn't want to sink the whole ship with his Jupiter. But I have a feeling that even though he conjures a miniature Jupiter, I have a feeling that like that Jupiter could still be launched back, even though it's moving at the speed of sound. So I don't know. I don't know. That's like a fun theory to thought. Like think if like he could block it, because why he was afraid of probably Hisoki's like bungee gum. But we can see that either way, his armor set, Battle Cantabile armor set, was mid. I mean, he couldn't even beat like a normal ant. So it wasn't really anything special. The armor set shouldn't exist really. It looks less impressive next to Jupiter, but he also has Metamorphosis, where he can. This is just in the manga. It was taught to us that you can take the shape of anybody you spent time with, and it lasts longer the longer you spend time with somebody. Yada yada yada. Um, just with that ability and the Jupiter ability, and even though like the armor set's not that impressive, it's still like good armor. I would say that he has to be definitely in the A tier. He's definitely a good Nen user. I don't know if he's made the right choices with the armor set, but maybe that was his first ability. I don't see his abilities having as much as potential as the the haiku writer, but we've seen that his abilities have higher power, and I just don't know if the haiku can really get there. I know it can do a lot of things, but I'm not sure if it could conjure Jupiter. So I know it's going to be better than the haiku. It's going to clear it, at least the Jupiter on itself. But Bolin in general, having three Hatsus that are just way more impressive, all three of them, than the haiku one. Yeah. Next, you have Chitu. Okay. Everybody clowns on Chitu. And yes, he's a clown. He's horrible. But he's actually his Nen abilities aren't that bad. They're not thought through. But being able to create a whole space outside of time to teleport somebody into is impressive, and I know he was given to it by the royal guards, but these are his abilities still running off of his aura, I'm pretty sure. So I'm gonna have to say that it's actually pretty impressive, and the only issue is we don't know what would have happened if Morel didn't beat him. Um, but either way, he does take out big competition, big competitors, dangerous people for a whole 8 hours, and it's not likely that they're gonna catch him. They're probably gonna trick him like Morel. So that's very strong. And then he does have the crossbow and the claws that he created as a last effort, which also it's impressive that you can just like think in your head about a Hatsu and just make it. I think he was put under like a nin genius category because he is talented. He's just stupid. Um, Altogether, if I was gonna rate him on a threat, he's definitely threatening. But as a nin user, his abilities are subpar to say the least, and I would even put it below Blaster because Blaster's that guy first of all, and second of all because his abilities are complex just to be complex. Like we don't know what he would have done in the hide and seek, so I mean, I'm not going to judge on anything other than it just wastes time. That's all I can say about it. It wastes time, and he no longer has it after losing once. So if you just rate him like before he died, he just had claws and a crossbow and something else that we never saw. He was just mid. He was just mid. And he was even worse than mid. He was boring. Next we have Crollo. So, yeah, the ability to steal other people's abilities is crazy. Um, but his ability comes with a lot of drawbacks, like the all the conditions, and like having somebody touch their hands on the book is a big condition. I know he's really strong and he has a whole squad, and he can also willingly take it. So it's very cool. In the manga, he gets additions to these abilities, and he gets a few more abilities that he can use when the book's not even open. And we know that abilities that you've stolen are I'm gonna go over the ones that we know just from the anime. He has Sun and Moon, which was explained more in the manga. Um, he also has at his disposal just in the anime. He also has the floating fish that devour people inside, which is fucking horrifying. Um, ugh, it's disturbing. Um, he just has a lot of abilities. Honestly, I don't even want to go through all of them. He just has a lot of abilities, and he's very strong. And of course, Bandit Secret is like the only real Hatsu we've seen from him. The other one is an add-on, technically. It's a bookmark ability, allowing him to use 2 pages from the book at once. And we know that it's just a really strong ability. Now, he's lucky that he has it because he's very smart. I mean, I know that's why he has it, but in a lot of other cases, this would be a bad ability. But I think him having it is a very good ability. And the ability to take anybody else's abilities is really good. I mean, it has to be usable. Like, he can't play music through his holes and body, so I'm assuming he can't steal Bolanovs. But being able to steal everybody else's abilities so they can't use it anymore is just, I mean, it just makes him, he's just a good Nin user in total, in general. And having that permanent steal is just a no brainer. He has to be up there. Now, next we have Phaeton. I don't know why there's 2 photos. Sue me. um, we've seen that for Nin abilities, he has a Pain Packer armor set, and then basically he conjures. He's a transmitter, and he conjures a set of armor, and then he transmute all of the pain that he's received, all of the injuries, into an aura sun. It's called Rising Sun. And there's also, I think it's implied that there's other options of this, like ice varieties, other elemental options. So that being said, I mean, he's conjuring a sun, and it seems way more powerful than Bolinanov's. So I'm gonna put him up above Bolinov. Um, it's just very strong. Yeah, I like that. I like that rating. I like that rating. So next we got Flutter. Flutter has the ability to send out aura infused insects, or I think they're just conjured insects. And he can see through their eyes and he can scout through them. Very cool ability. I don't think he has any other abilities, honestly. I just don't know if he's that useful. I mean, he's good for recon, he can fly, but his abilities are just pure recon, and it's pretty obvious you're being watched from the whole anime. Even like Killua Gon even knew it, so I just can't imagine putting him very high. I mean, I'm gonna put him below Chi too. He's just not that strong, and I don't know if he's really worth much. Next, we have Franklin, another Phantom Troop member. We haven't seen much of Franklin, but what we have seen, there's a list of arm wrestle rankings, and I think he was 4th place. Um, he's strong. He His nin bullets are very strong. I mean, they devoured through the name of a Hatsu, which is literally it's the Copper Top's name. I don't even remember his name, but it's legitimately called 11 Black Children. Um, so yeah, that's not a good name. That's like honestly, like I don't know, just try harder. Just try harder. Anyway, it just shreds through those. It shredded through easy emission, and he cut off his fingertips for it. So that is kind of a hefty price. For nin bullets coming from your fingertips. It's just so not very impressive, and we haven't really seen anything that impressive from him. He just has the status of a Phantom Troop member, and we're all impressed. But I don't really know much about anything he's done. He's gonna be a top of B tier just because his abilities are just they're like blasters, but they're a more complex ability, and honestly, that's just gonna go higher than blasters just for that reason alone. Okay, so next we have Genthru. Now, Genthru is um he's the main antagonist for Greed Island. What can I say? His his abilities were actually kind of bad. The bomber is a good ability. I will say that the bomber is a good ability. It's very strong, and the fact that You can start it whenever you want. You can end it as long as you have your friends with you whenever you want. And it's like pretty much like a one hit kill for most people that don't have crazy aura. I mean, and it goes off the heartbeat. It's just very cool ability. Now, little flowers are my issue is because he creates tiny explosion. He says the 10th of the power of the bomber. We've seen that they can blow off arms from Gon because his arm got blown off from it. So it's still very strong, but he's wasting aura by coating his hand in aura. So he's using more aura than he has to create the little flower effect when he's transmuting his power into explosions. Now, if he's transmuting his aura and he's a transmuter, he's right next to conjuring. Why does he not conjure gloves that he has to wear to use little flower, that making the little flower more effective? And then also the gloves are at least explosion resistant so that you don't have to use more aura than needed to make explosions rapid fire. I don't know why it was like such a miss in his head going from that, but I think it's very interesting how he thinks. I think his abilities are still strong and they're still impressive. And honestly, he's not the worst for an antagonist. He's not a great nin user. If I had to fight Ginthru or if I had to fight Ginthru or Franklin, I'd probably fight Franklin. I'd rather fight Ginthru. Um, because he has to use more aura, he's wasting more aura on his ability that he should have an advantage in. I mean, if you're already wasting more aura to protect your hands, you might as well invest that into some conjuring abilities. I mean, like your ability is just pure transmutation. You're transmuting your aura into explosions. So try harder. Anyway, next we have Guido, the topple guy, the guy with no legs. Um, he basically just puts his aura into tops. He's a manipulator. He puts his aura into tops and just makes them spin around, and they hurt like hell, and they can break your bones. Um, Now manipulation is good. I said manipulation would probably be always a B or above, just because it has that quality. He's the only one we put in hot garbage of manipulators so far, because in the first hot garbage because you can control the pegs. They're only useful for arena fighting. I have seen no other use for them. I mean, there's just no use for this in general. It's not good for fighting unless you're in an arena where the person doesn't pull out a gun and fucking blow your brains out. Enhance a bullet, blow your fucking brains out. Like, I mean, you're just standing there. And even Gon knows how to dodge them pre everything, just letting Nen like learning the basics of Nen like a month before. It's just kind of mid. He's just mid. It's just I don't understand. He has no real talent, and it's just hot garbage. Like you go to the next highest manipulator, which is Baze, which I believe she is the next manipulator. Um, her ability can be used in so many situations. She kisses the bartender, and she says, "You're paying for my tab." He pays for your tab. Free drinks. She can always get food by kissing somebody. She can always get shelter by kissing somebody. I mean, she always can stay fed and at least in a hotel from this ability. She could find a rich guy, kiss him, and make him marry her. Like baby trap him. I don't know. Like her ability is so much more useful, even if it's not just for fighting, but for fighting, like it's still useful too. Let's say she fucking kisses Pell, the person right above her, while Pell's manipulated. Now Pell fucking Chimera Ant goes in, but the pigs probably don't do much against Chimera Ant because they're very strong, and just fucking kills Guido. I mean, and I don't see how Guido's even worth like shit. So now we're going for Gon. Gon is cool. Um, I'm gonna have to give him an A tier. I'm gonna put him on high A tier. Now, here's the thing: he's a nin genius, and I'm gonna be fully for real. Crappie is gonna go higher than him whenever I get to Krapika. But the reason Gon's so low is because Gon's abilities were really good. They were the basics of admission, enhancement, and transmutation. They were good all around abilities. And I would say that they're all in all decent for his kind of fighting. I think his tool set's very strong. I think that his genius level for aura and his naturally superhuman strength kind of gets him up there higher. Um, it's just the fact that we've seen him even farther, and the fact that he did get survived, and he can work on um, Nen still. He can relearn Nen, so he's going to. I mean, he can still relearn Nen, and we saw that he gave up 10. He gave up his whole life to get the power that he would have when he was at his peak strength. And seeing him at peak strength is, I mean, he was just such a godly Nin user, and it was just so mass. It was just amazing. I mean, he could be the Royal Guards. He could be Crollo at that strength. I could bet he could beat Bisky, and he could be actually everybody on this list except for Nanika if Nanika was wished to get rid of him. And I think that's super strong. Now we're leaving it off with the anime, so he has a at the end he doesn't even know Nen anymore. He's awakened, but he is like bare minimum no Nen, no nothing. So that being said, he could remake his same abilities before or better. Knowing this now, and he keeps training, then he's gonna get to that level that he had gave his life away for. So that being said, he doesn't really know any Nin at this point in the story, but I would still rate him a better Nin user because he has shown that he's a good Nin user, good quality, and that he has the potential to go crazy. Next, we're going for Gato. Gato. He's the head butler. He's a manipulator, I believe, and he manipulates coins. His coins are stronger than bullets. Um, I'm afraid of him. I think he's very strong. I mean, Hisoka noticed him, but like, that's Hisoka. I would say his coins are about the level that we've seen Franklin's, honestly, and Franklin's Nin bullets. And that's pretty good for a manipulator, especially because Franklin's a um, emitter. And so for a manipulator to, or maybe he is an emitter, I'm not sure 100%, but it's just to have like on par like strength that a emitter would have, especially being closer to enhancement. I think I have to put him. I think he would honestly clear Genthru. I don't know what Genthru would do against him. I mean, yeah. Next, we're going to Hina. I think her name's Hina. She is the Chimera Ant with another Nin exorcism ability. Now, she basically carries the ability in her belly. She's basically pregnant. And that's where the Nin curse goes. We've seen that she exercised a Nin curse. I don't remember which exact one, but she did exercise one. And the strain looked less strenuous than the other one, and we've seen no other ability from her. But she's also a Chimera Ant, so I'm gonna honestly put her above the other one, just Nin user wise, because she has more aura automatically. So yeah, Hisoka. He has the most. I mean, he has the most versatile ability in the whole series. It's rubber and it's gum. It's sticky. It's stretchy. It's just. I mean, he can swing like Spider Man. He can grab things from far away. He can catch bullets. He can catch super powered volleyballs. I mean, and fling them back like double the strength because of you know fucking physics. And I think that his other ability, Texture Surprise, is useful in everyday scenarios. I mean, he could become a world's famous magician from Texture Surprise. I mean, let's be so for real. He literally is a magician already. And it's like very clear he's very talented. So I'm gonna say that he is an S tier. I'm honestly gonna say that he's right below Crollo, just because Crollo has. I mean, Crollo could steal his ability and have his ability and like have that usefulness. I mean, it wouldn't be as useful because he needs his hands open unless he had the bookmark. So I would say honestly, yeah, I would say like he has to be up there. Next, we have the octopus squid guy. I don't know. Remember his name? Ikalgo. Ikalgo. Sorry. Next, we have Ikalgo. Um, yeah, he can morph his body into a gun. And he can shoot bullets, and he makes bullets. And he also can hide in corpses. And he can use the nin ability of that corpse. So I guess he's using whatever is residual aura they have, and using their aura and their nin abilities. So I think this is actually really useful for a few different reasons. One, in everyday life, I mean, he could assassinate the president or like ape somebody and then take over and be the president and live the life like a celebrity. Um, First of all, second of all, it's pretty strong and it does kind of fuck up Killua in the Chimera Ant arc. Not that bad. He still clears Ikalgo, but it's definitely an ability that I would say is better than Baze's and Pell's, but not too much. It's just kind of again a mid ability. He's not bad though. Alumi's up next. A new Alumi has needle people. We've seen him put needles in people's heads and automatically they die and they just become soldiers that he can make attack. He can change the facial structure of himself with needles. He can control people, put ideas and thoughts into people's heads with needles, like he did to Killua. And it's just very potent manipulation. It's not all too complex. His nin quality isn't too like crazy, but he has a lot of aura. He's very strong, and even Killua says is afraid to beat him after Chimera Ant arc. I don't know if he would be an S tier, but he's gonna be higher than Gon. It's just Gon would probably clear him whenever he ages up, but I say put him at A tier. I am I I think I am seeing A tier right now. I am gonna move the poet guy down to B tier, just because he doesn't like stack up with these characters that we're seeing in A tier, honestly. Netero. Um Clearly it's an S tier. I'm putting him above I'm gonna put him below Bisky, and I'm gonna tell you why. His power is really good for fighting. We don't know exactly everything about his powers. We don't know if his meditation for like a month was him building up aura or if it was part of his powers. We don't know everything, but he just basically is super powerful. And seeing that he could barely damage the king, and he didn't damage Pito with his hand movement either, makes me think that Bisky, I don't think she would be unscathed, but I think she would be like really fucked up. But I think she could survive a hand hit from him. And his ability it also is just pure like physically fighting. Let's say Bisky's ability. I mean, if Bisky could live the same length as him, I know he has other things going on for him that I'm not gonna spoil from the manga. But if Bisky could live as long as him, I mean, she doesn't have to sleep nearly as long. She can practice 10 times more than he can, and I just see her potential more. I don't see her. I think she's about where she's at, like about full on max level. But I just see her ability and her potential could probably outgrow his even more. And I think that her ability is just more convenient and useful in everyday life. I don't think I would need hands for everything. I mean, and he never really got to fight often, clearly. I mean, he was so hyped up just to go back to the Chimera Ant arc. So, next we have the Boxer. Next we have Calito. She's a manipulator, or he's a manipulator. Um, Manipulates paper, can cut off Chimera Ant arms, which is impressive, I mean, in strength wise for the paper. Um, they can make dolls, and they can hear everything going around the paper that they sent out and attach to people, which is really good reconnaissance, reconnaissance. um, yeah. That being said, it's just they just look strong. I mean, they're just a strong person. They're not anything too special, but I think they would be Gen 3. I think they would be I think they would be up there. I mean, I really think that as a user, Kaoto, I mean, of course, is very young, but I think they have a lot of learning. And I think if I'm also just not rating them just by strength, which I'm not rating everybody just by strength. I mean, I think if we're rating by strength, Lumi would be up there in the S tier. Um, I think honestly, Kaluto, for especially how young they are, I think honestly I would see them being. I could honestly see above Bololinov. Um, I think that especially because they're so young, but they're an assassin. They have reconnaissance. They can hear things that their paper attaches to, which is basically a walkie-talkie that is unfindable, unpredictable. You would never know. They also can chop off limbs of Chimera ants with their paper ability, and their paper fan is harder than steel with their enhancement. So it just seems very strong, and honestly, I would not count out Kaluto. Um, yeah. Next, we have Castro. Castro could have been world famous, could have done all these things. I think it's stupid that he's an enhancer that wanted to focus on conjuration. I say that as a person that has taken the official Crunchyroll test, and I've gotten a conjurer. You're giving conjurers bad names, bud. Okay, rep it up for me, people. Now, if I was an end user, I would be pulling this shit up. I promise. But anyway, I just think his abilities were mid. Tiger Bite Fist was actually really strong, and Hisoka let him take his arm, so we don't really know how strong it is. But I could definitely. I think he was strong. I think he would beat Fluster, honestly. Flutter, whatever the fuck. I don't think they're nearly as talented or their abilities were nearly as good. I think the copy is very cool, and I think that it actually really could have helped in a different matchup. I just think it was a bad choice for this person to do it. You know. Next we have Killua. We have oh my god, we have just crazy abilities. Godspeed, bypassing their nervous system and making and setting like automatic responses to stimuli. So just automatically responding or like replying to somebody kicking you, hitting you, whatever. Um, yeah, sign me up. I mean, just Kilo is just amazing. That ability alone is good. Having electric zap strong enough to stun a literal chimera ant. Um, what's it called? Royal Guard, and like one of the physically strongest shown ones. Um, Yeah, I don't know. I just think that this ability is very strong. I think Killua could take out a lot of people. They did say they were still scared of their brother, which I could see because their brother is still very quick and strong and whatever. I think that Killua abilities are a lot more focused. I mean, if you want to go on this like thing with everybody else, never need a home. Could always run. I mean, if they're let's say they're homeless, they can always steal food easily with their amazing speed, and they could do that even before when they were an assassin. And just their strength and their abilities as a ninja user, I just think they have to go up in S tier. And honestly, their abilities are more impressive to me than they're brothers, Loomis and Kabuto so far. So sorry, everybody else. I just think that's more impressive them up there. Okay, it looks like we're about halfway through. Yay, happy halfway. I've been doing this for 54 minutes and um it's 1 a.m. and I decided that instead of going to bed and getting a job because your girl's jobless. Oh, no, actually it's 3 a.m. Yep. So yeah, instead of going and getting a job, your girl decided to binge watch all of Hunter x Hunter today and literally get high as fuck. So yay. Anyway, next person, Kite. Lucky slots, it's just it's really strong. It's just and it's great for them, whatever. It's just so useless, I feel like. I don't know. I just don't see it. Yes, it's strong, yes is whatever. Yes, as a nin user in total, they should be stronger. But I just don't think the ability is really special or like I don't know. They're going below the haiku. I mean, I don't think that's that bad. I think that might be a little controversial. Their strength wise is up at the very top. Um, I think there it was also implied that their lucky slots revive them. So I mean, if that's true, maybe my lore's out. But if that was true, I would move them up to A. I would move them below Gon. Um, yeah, I made my decision. We have this is Nav. Um, Yeah, the fact that you could cut off a Chimera Ant's head with like a portal just in the air and use it as a weapon, and also have a mansion under the ground, it's just like so cool. Infinite storage, infinite. You get a house forever. You can teleport anywhere you've set up a portal. I mean, this is just ultimate convenient. This is one of the best abilities in the series. Honestly, I'm putting it above Isaac Meadows because I mean, I would much rather have Biskies, and I'd much rather like be able to use Nanika's ability with no like harm. But Nav's ability is a close third because that's just like, such a cool ability. We have Knuckles Higaware, insurance agency. Um, the fact that that's the only ability he has is fine. It's just whatever. It's good for his use. And it's very strong, and it could take out a very strong competitor. But as an aura and as a nin user, I don't see that being useful in any other scenario, and I honestly don't see it being very useful in any scenario. I mean, unless you're against Gon and Killua, which were very new nin users, I just don't see how that ability helps in fighting, and he's all about fighting. So it's like it's not just make it make sense. Like if you're gonna be all about fighting, have an ability that's way better for fighting. Like you would have had to wait weeks for fucking UPs or to run out, and I just don't know if it's that useful. I don't know. I want to put it in C tier. Like C tier is like just this is overrated. Of course, it's the best one out of C tier, but I could see more usefulness coming from Stolen Kiss. Like I could see that like this could be really good for fighting in a very, very, very rare scenario. And not to mention, he has to be within 50 meters of the ability, or it doesn't count down. You're gonna die to stronger people. It's just not that useful. It's just not that useful. It makes you clear people like Gon and Killua at the beginning of that arc, but also just makes you feel useless in front of everybody else. Next, we have Kamagi. This one's gonna be. I'm gonna feel like I'm contradicting myself, and I might be. This person has no usefulness outside of the fact that their whole life is Gongi. And they only care about Gongi and they have a traumatic like life basically. And so all they're gonna care about is Gongi. And honestly, if you see it from the perspective that all they care about is Gongi, this is what they stake their life on, and they're a master and a genius at this game because of their aura and their nin. I mean, it's just I think it has to be S tier because the ability itself is just it's just perfect to what they are. I think I'm gonna put it above Aquila because that just ability is just it works perfectly for their life and who they are. And I think that I don't want to. I don't think I should judge it on anything else in that scenario because I think the most highest judgment is for what you are and like to relate your ability to what you do. And I think that and why you created it is probably the best way to do it. So I think honestly, I really like that. Also, I totally. Oh, also, yes, my throat is scratchy. I dropped the mic. I have a cold, so perfect. Next, we have Kuromi, Kuropi. I don't remember. I can't say his name right. um, his abilities are crazy. I mean, we've seen him replicate like 50 skyscrapers. I mean, come on. You go, girl. You know what I mean? I just, I think that's like such an impressive feat. I'm not sure how well his ability would really work in real life, but I think he's, people should like look at him more. I mean, his feats are honestly, in my opinion, his feats are more impressive than Kite's, and his ability isn't as amazing, but is definitely more potent than we've seen the lovely haiku writer to be. So I'm honestly gonna put him up there. I'm honestly gonna put him in the high V tier. I think that's nobody would expect that, but yeah, no, he deserves that. I feel like. Next we have Kurapika. Kurapika has 5 chains, and they all have 5 different abilities. Now I'm gonna go a little bit of manga spoilers because this gets interesting. He has um, dowsing chain. Tell people are lying to him, and can also locate people on a map. Okay, and it's also just used as a weapon, like as a steel ball to whack people with. He has Judgment Chain. Basically, if he can stab you with a chain, then he puts a rule on you, and if you break that rule, then you die. And it's just a very strong chain. Um, chain Jail. He can only use this one on Phantom Troop. This is the only one that you can use on Phantom Troop. Um, so yeah, it just on the what 12 people in the whole world, it just automatically changes them, and we've seen the strongest member of the Phantom Troop not be able to break out of it. So clearly, it's a good ability. I mean, let's be so clear. Anyway, and then we have Steel Chain, and we have Steel Dolphin. This basically allows him to steal abilities by using aura, um, but it runs off of Emperor Time, which is an ability of his that basically whenever his eyes turn red and he's in his enraged mode, um, he it can activate Emperor Time, and that gives them 100% strength in every single Nin category. I mean, it's just an amazing ability, and the fact that it's for every minute that he's in there, or is it every second? I think it's every minute that he's in there, an hour of his life gets used. I think it might be even seconds, which is crazy. Um, I think it's every second an hour of his life gets used. So it's just a heavy toll. Um, it's just a strong ability. This ability is these all abilities. I mean, they're just perfect. I just don't see how they could be bad, and it's just really potent aura. I would say this aura's. I would say that's just it's got to be stronger than Bisky's. I mean, I just these abilities are like all the top abilities are just very strong people with very strong abilities, and everything about their abilities and everything about what they can do is just life breaking, like reality breaking. So I have to put them up there. Next, we have one of the shadow beasts. This is Leech. Basically, he puts leeches in people's bodies and they will kill you. Hot garbage. Anyway, he wasn't even strong enough to touch Uvo, so like he could put leeches in him, but he died from literally getting his head right off. So whatever. Mid. Leol, the lion. Um, basically mid version of the or skill hunter or whatever it's called, steel hunter. He just borrows abilities for a certain amount of time. It's not a bad ability. I think it's definitely A tier because um, it definitely is a lot less confusing than God Krolos. I'd say it has a lot more potential in the fact that you could probably steal a lot more abilities with it a lot easier. You could probably even get like an ability that you would never dream of, like Sylva's or Zenos, especially if you have a partner, if you have a worker. I mean, I don't know if it would count, but if you have somebody that can manipulate somebody, you get Lumi to needle one of these people's heads, and then you get the person, you get them to say, "I loan you this money," and then you get a power forever long. I mean, if you have like a manipulator, it's just very useful. I think this ability is very good. I think it just depends on how you use it. I mean, of course, he died, but he did get abilities from it, and I would say his abilities, I think they're A tier. I think they're the bottom of A tier, but they're still A tier. So I'm going to put that up there. Next we have Leorio. Leorio's ability is basically that he can punch through the air and like teleport his hand to another area. Okay, that's really cool. Now we see that it was made for medical stuff, to where he could go inside somebody's body without making incisions. The fact that this bro can go inside somebody's body without making excisions and like pump your heart, um, I just think that it's super cool, and it's like goes off of like vibrations and shit. I'm pretty sure if I read the manga right, and I just think that's really sick, and it has a lot of uses. And I think that, especially for a doctor, I think it fits him so well. I think that yes, it's not that great for fighting, which is why that Gon's dad cleared him in that way. But if for medical use, it's an S tier ability. I mean, be able to. I mean, just think about it. Like it's more useful than Nova's ability. Being able to go inside somebody and start their heart. It's just a very strong ability. Yeah, yeah. I'm gonna put that up there. Next, we have Machi. Now, Machi's strings are just so basic. Is what you're all saying until you realize the fact that she can literally reattach arms. Be able to attach arms and body parts is super hard in itself anyway. Like it's kind of like very impossible. It's something that can be done, but it's like wow, it's hard even in the real life. And to think about that they can attach it like 30 minutes after a fight. I mean, not ice, not anything. I just think that's and it being fully functional after a little while. That ability is just very strong. It has to be an S tier ability, and the fact that they can even just use it as a tracker. Yeah, honestly, I'm gonna have to put that ability above Neteros. It's just such a good ability. It's just like life changing. Next, we got Meliorlons. Meliorlons. We have his invisibility. Now, basically, if he holds his breath, he goes completely invisible, untraceable on everything. If you hit him, or if he hits you, it's like you're just confused. But you can still die. It's just that they can't comprehend that they're hitting you or you're hitting them or what's happening. Um, it's like a broken ability. The fact that you can like literally and he can hold his breath for a while too. I think that this ability is very broken, but I see where it kind of falls off and it's kind of slop. So I think it can be very hard. I'm gonna have to put an A tier. I'm definitely gonna be putting it above and Illumies. Next we have Melodies. Now we see Melody is an interesting case. Um I think Melody would have to be in B tier, but for not the reason you would think. You might think, oh, Melody's in B tier because their ability is just whatever, music. No, they're in B tier because honestly, they're the top of B tier too. Because the fact that you can like coerce somebody, you're coercing them with their emotions is a very strong power, and they realize that in the manga too. They're all after Melody because they're like, fuck, this bitch can control us with the emotions, and her playing is strong. And that can sway whole nations of people. You could literally boost the morale of soldiers, and morale is legitimately like the biggest driving force. And for most wars and whatever, it's just a strong ability. I think honestly, you know, I think honestly, I'm gonna put it in the bottom of A tier. I think it's a really strong ability that deserved more hype. Um, Next we have Yuppie. Now, Yuppie is a royal guard, and I would say that Yuppie is like just whatever. I just don't know. I don't know. Their abilities are good. Like honestly, is it bad if I just said that I just don't vibe with their anything? I don't think that their abilities are necessarily that good. They're defending the king. It's not hot garbage, but it's not anything special. They're just an ant, honestly. Yeah, I don't know. I just not vibing with it. Okay, so that so that's gonna be the end of this video. Um, it was really hard to rank these people. Um, I think that there's just so much more characters I want to do. I think that we should do more. I think I'm gonna do more. I think I'm gonna be back with more ranking for Hunter x Hunter characters. I think I also am going to rank other things, and just do tier list of it because it sounds super fun. Honestly, this was a really fun video just to make. So I would love it if you guys had anything for me to rank, just to give me a recommendation. I'll make a list. I can make my own tier ranking video like list, so I'm not using somebody else's. Yeah. So anyway.